This episode of WoW Weekly is brought to you by WoWweekly.net, your source for Warcraft and Blizzard news, guides, and editorials.
This week in Warcraft, the next expansion, Expansion 4, will be released, or rather announced, next week. And there's been a lot of speculation. But before we get into that, welcome to LJ this week.
Hello again. It's been a
Hello.
while, hasn't it?
Yeah, you even have different glasses. How long has
And
that
different
been?
hair and everything. So
So, welcome back. And this week, still no Matt. After all, last one was probably his last podcast. Anders is joining us this week, or Talk rather. Welcome, Talk.
Hello! I have new kneecaps.
You have new kneecaps. And anything else new since you've been here last?
No, nothing major.
Nothing
worth
life-changing? No?
mentioning. No.
no, only small things that happen in your life, huh? So,
Yeah, exactly.
All right. We'll leave that then. So, if you've watched the MMO Champion forums in the past weeks, or week rather, there's been tons of leaks, and some of them have more credibility than others. So, this is really just a speculation podcast. The big news was the announcement planned for next week. Once the announcement has been, announced, we'll have another podcast, probably not next week, because on the Sunday there's going to be a developer live stream giving us more information about the next expansion. But the week after that, we'll do a normal podcast and talk about what's been released. So, let's go ahead and just jump right in. I'll just name the leaks that have been, leaked, I guess, or that made up, and then we'll go from there. So the first one is the Dark Prophet. This would be a Zul and Ashara team-up. So the expansion would be heavily focused around the Naga and Trolls. Now, as far as I am concerned, Trolls can go die in the fire. I never want to see them again. Apparently the Shadow Stalker would be a new class, but I don't know. It doesn't seem likely. Then there's the Army of Light, and this would apparently take place on alternate Azeroth. So we would go from alternate Draenor to alternate Azeroth, and the main focus of this would be Anduin, the Blood Elf Paladin character. Liadrin is her name, I believe. And it would be about teaming up with the Army of Light against the Burning Legion. Then there's the Council of Glades that was trademarked. So, assumingly, it would be around the Tirisfal Glades and the Last Guardian and stuff like that. Trademarks can be faked. Corgis Unleashed, anyone remember that?
Indeed.
Then there's the Eye of Ashara, also really Ashara focused. Then there's not much that we can go on, but remember 2 BlizzCons ago they said that Warlords of Draenor was part of a 2-part story. So Warlords of Draenor was part 1, and then the next expansion would be part 2. You would think that we would go back to normal Azeroth with that, but other than that, there's no real info to go on. Then there's the ridiculous The Rise of the Syndicate, where the Defias Brotherhood takes over Stormwind, and we go to Stormguard, or whatever the one in Arathi is called. Stormguard, I believe.
Stormguard, yeah.
Yeah.
Stromguard, isn't it?
Well, you
Very
might
well
be right.
be. Yeah.
Something like that. Stromguard. Yeah. Wait.
Okay.
Arathi, right?
Yeah, in Arathi, I believe. And then the last one, which has by far the most credibility, is a Chinese riddles leak, which apparently is from the guy who leaked something of Warlords of Draenor last time correctly. And that also includes Sylvanas and Ashara. I'm not sure if Zool was involved in that as well, but I believe Tear, one of the Titan constructs we haven't seen yet, or Titan Guardians, and which it would involve the Argent Silverhand and stuff like that, which would kind of indicate that it would be an expansion where we just have different chapters. One with Sylvanas, with the Argent Silverhands, and one with Ashara, which sounds a lot more appealing to me than a grand story after seeing how the Iron Horde turned out. So, with all of these different leaks, quote unquote, what do you guys think? What's more likely, and what would you like to see? Not all at once.
Go ahead.
I would like to see an expansion. No, I don't
No
know, to be honest.
trolls.
No, no trolls. No trolls! We have enough trolls on WoW as it is. But no, I've always been somewhat of, you know, the what's it called, Ashara and that whole bundle of joy,
Hmm.
basically. So you know, I'm more focused or more leaning towards those kinds of that kind of expansion, because we had a little bit in the past. You know, the couple of expansions, or the couple of dungeons, I mean, that came out during, which expansion was that? Mists? No, that was not Mists. But you know, with Well of Eternity and such, I wanted, you know, delve deeper into that, and
Cataclysm?
I believe that was Cataclysm.
Because we had the part in Darkshore where I believe Ashara herself appeared. I it has something with the whirlwind and Malfurion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The
And then
maelstrom, you mean?
No, there's an
Oh,
actual
that.
tornado in Darkshore
Ah,
itself.
don't. Yeah, right.
Um,
Thing.
and then we indeed had the very disappointing, not Time Walker, but the regular Caverns of Time dungeons, which kind of sucked.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that that there's far more to be discovered with that timeline and lore line and whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
So I mean, something like that would be, yeah, I would like it. I would hope it's something like that. What it's going to be, I don't know, but that's what where my preference goes out to, at least.
Well, the way I see it, we're due for another old god related expansion,
Mhm.
since it's been every second expansion since Wrath has been involving old gods.
Yeah.
We started with Vanilla, we had Cthulhu, and then in Wrath we had Yarg, and in Mists we had Urshaj. So we're due for another one. Definitely
Yeah, that's
are,
true.
and why not make it in Soth, or however you want to pronounce that guy. Um,
It's always fun with those names.
yeah, he's due for some loving, isn't he?
Well, yeah, because he's been around for so long. Was it in Yogg-Saron's jukebox that we first heard about the city underwater?
The puzzle box.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing
very
has
well be.
been spewing out a lot of messages over the last, well, since we found it, rather.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
the all the spoilers about the mists came from that thing as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. So, N'Zoth together with Ashara, I remember it's N'Zoth that corrupted
yeah,
Ashara, I suppose. Yeah, turned them into the Naga.
indeed.
It would make most sense to have that, but the question is, with Gul'dan being sent off into the Twisting Nether, will that happen?
With that, you're probably more leaning towards Burning Legion and Sargeras expansion, I would say then.
Yeah, they could do it two parts. That Gul'dan, after going to the Twisting Nether, then gets sent to Ardrenor, goes to the tomb of Zargaris, where Zargaris's or Avatar's body lies.
Yeah.
So then they could tie in Ashara with that, but the thing is, if you remember before in Mists of Pandaria, I was completely for a Burning Legion expansion because most of the time that lore is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
But Gul'dan wore me down so much, I'd rather not see him in the Burning Legion for a while. I'm kind of fatigued by them already, which is bad.
That is pretty bad, but I mean, I'm
That's
not that fatigued by Gul'dan, to be honest. I mean,
we
I
barely
like.
saw him.
Have you
Yeah.
drunk? Have you drunk from his fell, mug?
No.
No, all I'm saying is like for all the build up that was like people talking about him and NPCs discussing what to do about him,
Hmm.
we actually saw him like in person very very little.
That's true. But we started out, even during leveling, we saw him a few times. With
Yeah, that's my problem. Like we didn't get a conclusion, right?
yeah, yeah.
So no conclusions at all for that guy. And for all the build up, he didn't feel like he was much a part of anything at the
Hmm.
end.
Um, yeah. I mean, you see him multiple times in Hellfire Citadel, but you don't
Yeah,
actually
but
fight him.
exactly. You see him, but he's more in the background. He's been like demoted a little bit from he's like the lifeline of the whole expansion, but you don't really do that much with him or against him or anything like that. It's not like, for instance, like you had with Wrath of the Lich King, where you had like Arthas breathing down your neck in almost every zone.
Yeah, but didn't players then say that he had breathed down their necks too much?
I did not say that. I liked it. I really
Okay.
want that more, because every expansion or most of every expansion has basically one big bad baddie that
Hmm.
everybody wants to kill or whatever. Um, and I think that really should immerse people more into the whole experience by confronting him more often. That's really I really like that with Wrath of Lich King. I mean, with not Cataclysm, yeah, Cataclysm as well. By the way, you had Deathwing also everywhere. You had Garrosh, more and more, not at the start, but more and more he got, eviler, and it became apparent that he's the one you want to kill. And
Hmm.
it was quite apparent from the start off as well, but it became more, and he became more and more focused. And I like that they built it up a little bit. But that's what I want from a bad guy. He's supposed to embody this evil part of something, be it for the demons with Gul'dan, be it the Lich King with Arthas and such. So I mean, that's what I want to see.
Okay.
I like that.
All right. So before we move on, even in stuff like Gundrak, where Lich King suddenly appearing at the
Yeah,
Amphitheater of Anguish, I believe it was.
yeah,
Um,
but also like on top of that, Ziggurat with the quest line. I believe
yeah.
he appeared all of a sudden
So
once.
that was an undead focused zone, whereas Gundrak was troll focused. I
True.
felt that Lich King in Gundrak felt really out of place, for example.
I have to disagree because the thing they were going for was that you were in Northrend, and
Hmm.
the entirety of Northrend
It's
is
Lich
his.
King.
It's his domain, his
All right,
backyard.
fair
Yeah,
You
enough.
are intruding, even if you're talking to the trolls, dealing with the trolls. They're still like in his eyes. They're still his like minions, his subjects to do with what he pleases, right? So it's
Hmm.
all about you stepping in his backyard and him being pissed.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's true. But then we won't have the narrative, assuming we get Ashara in our Azeroth. I assume she would try and invade us.
Well, yeah, it depends on how it's going to be focused. I mean, there has
Hmm.
to be something has to happen that we want to focus as Azara, of course.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, there has to be a problem that we have to solve, and like full out assault, like what Deathwing did. I'm not sure if that's something that's feasible or something that would be accepted. So it would be cool, to have like waves of Naga all of a sudden spawning from the sea and trying to take over the major cities.
Yeah, that would be
That
awesome.
that would be a pretty cool because Orgrimmar is also on a sea and river. So I mean, it would be possible. It would be a pretty cool sight now that I think about it. But
Imagine there be. I'm not sure if you guys actually read or saw the video I did about how the next world content should be designed, but it would be cool to have like an Naga invasions in Westfall and stuff like that, so that you would have to fly there and battle the Naga there too.
like old school, the
Like Rift.
like the rifts and such.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
I would really like to see that. I think that should happen. It should have happened in Warlords. There were 7 different clans. You could have plenty of different invasions. So that was something missed, and that would fit well if Ashar was invading Azeroth. But then again, if we go to, or rather have to defend the, what's it called? I just named it. Where what's his face's avatar's body is.
Sargeras.
Yes.
Tomb of Cigars.
The Tomb of Sargeras. If we have to prevent Ashara or Gul'dan from going into that, then of course we'd be surrounded by the Naga, which would then allow for the Wrath of a Lich King type narrative, where we're in their domain, because obviously they're just islands.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it's going to be more us going there than them going to us.
Mhm.
And the last part of the Waters of Draenor was very focused around building this shipyard, right?
Yeah.
Which leads me to hope that we might see it like in use, like in-game knowledge. Our characters will use our new knowledge of being amazing at building boats to take
They're
that
so
fight
amazing.
to
They are amazing.
They keep sinking.
but our newfound knowledge, and they could have a narrative that we go with. Gul'dan got sucked into this portal. Maybe he goes to the Tomb of Sargeras in our world. Maybe he goes to reawaken the Maelstrom to draw something through, right? Like the
Yeah.
old narratives. Anything to draw us down to the sea. That will tie into like the speculation of the new troll continent. We'll bump into them. They'll be angry. We'll have to deal with them. They could be the first raid zone.
Yeah.
Like establishing a foothold in the region. We need to displace some trolls. We don't care anyway. Which could, going by these Chinese spoiler leaks, which seem to be the most popular, they do have some sort of information about, Vol'jin having to choose between his alliances, and Sylvanas maybe staging a coup on him and stuff, based on the fact that if we're meeting up with all these old troll clans.
Yeah.
So we could have one troll raid, opening raid, and then delve down, and in the end, maybe deal with Ashar, maybe with Insoth at the end. Gul'dan's storyline could be like a side thing. Like, as in, it's not
Just an opener, basically.
Yeah, we might go there. We might find out. Well, he fucked something up, and he's gone again. Like, boom, done. Now he's building up, and we
Maybe
have to
even
deal with-
dies.
Maybe. I hope they don't pull a Garrosh on us, because that shit was so unsatisfying.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I don't want him to just die in a cinematic in like the second zone or whatever. That would be stupid.
The cinematic was pretty cool though, but the way he died, I mean, the whole.
Whole
It
Green
was a big
Jesus thing.
letdown. Here's this big baddie from the past expansion, and you just kill them in one hand combat with Thrall. Okay, no.
Yeah, it was just the way they handle his story. That's a little. But we also got to remember, our favorite Black Dragon didn't show up much
Yeah,
in
Bastion.
Warlords, but he did show up. He did show up.
He did?
I'd
haven't
have a
seen him
tie-in.
yet, so-
Yeah. Have you done the? Oh, you have done the Ring quest line, right?
No, not fully.
All right.
Is he in the last bit, or should I have already seen him? Maybe I forgot.
Well, it's not really a spoiler, but
There was a screenshot on Reddit even, so I would have assumed that you would have seen
yeah,
it.
if you
If it has a spoilers tag, I don't watch it.
when you go to do the last part of the quest line, no spoilers there, he will be transformed into a dragon whelp flying around the area.
Okay.
So he's in the game's ever so slightly, just to remind us that he's still got a part to play.
Yeah, and that he was actually here on Draenor. Even though you're done here, you've killed Archimonde and stuff like that, he's there. Okay, fantastic, Rathian. I mean, wow.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything.
No.
Well, he was
That's
referenced,
also a
of
bit.
course, in Spies of Iraq, where he's in the journal. He showed up, did some stuff, left.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, but
that's all he's done.
it's a shame that they probably wanted to keep for the next expansion. That's what I'm thinking as well now. But shame that they just finished or just sliced this whole storyline like this time. There's nothing with him or breadcrumbs.
Yeah, but
Not even a
that's
little hint.
yeah, that's a lot of warlords though. If you look
Yeah,
at
but he's still alive. It's not this small. He doesn't have a small part to play. Everybody knows that has dealt with him. This is a guy, a dragon that is going to shape the future of the world, basically, with our help.
he's forcing us to do so though.
Well, basically, with us, he gives us a legendary cloak back in the day, but in the meantime, what the hell is he really doing?
Well, he started the whole thing with releasing Garrosh.
Exactly. So I mean, there has to be something up his sleeve that'll just piss everybody off.
Yeah, so at the very least, then that should finally have a payoff in the next expansion. That's a draw it
Maybe.
full circle.
Maybe.
Um,
I'm still waiting for Medan to show up.
Who?
Medan, yeah.
Medan.
Who's Medan?
He is the son of. Let's try and get it right here. The son of Medivh, and
Medivh has a son.
Yes.
who was it? The Garona?
I think it was Medivh
Yeah.
and Garona.
Yeah, he's a half orc, half orc, and he got trained by Jaina, and he got trained by like all sorts of shit, and he defeated Cho'Gall in Azeroth and killed Cthulhu for the second time, and he's the next guardian of Tirisfal. He has inherited all that power. So
But
he's
also,
like,
is he also, corrupted?
no,
No.
Okay.
It's just that.
he's basically Superman.
Exactly.
He's also a shaman
Yeah.
because why not?
Exactly. The fans did not like it. Yeah, it was part of a comic book series,
Yeah.
and apparently because he became like a demigod or something like that, people didn't really like that.
He became too powerful for basically the
Yes.
World of Warcraft universe.
Yeah. And so there was a tweet a couple of years ago when they asked if Medan was canon, and they said he was, and that they were determined to someday make Medan awesome. So he could still appear, but wasn't it hinted at that Khadgar was now the last guardian, or guardian of Tirisfal?
Well, he does wield Atiash,
Yeah, exactly.
but that
So-
doesn't say much.
Doesn't it?
Well, it means he's got his hands on the staff. The players wielded it for a time, right?
Yeah.
Gotta remember that.
But
Sure.
the question is, that was in vanilla, so how much was that story driven? So you would think that now that they have a lot more structure in their stories, Khadgar actually having Atish or Atiesh would be more significant.
Agreed, completely. But yeah, so much stuff that they can do with the expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody knows the lore that World of Warcraft has that Warcraft has basically is huge. You can do a lot, and that's why I love always. Oh my God, there's going to be an expansion, and you have like at least the first day you have like hundreds of theories popping up everywhere. Let's see what's going to be launched. What's going to be announced? When is it? Thursdays, right?
Thursday, I believe it's 7, or rather 5:45 p.m. Central European Standard Time. So right around dinner time, everyone's going to delay dinner or eat it early so that they can watch the live stream.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's another live stream on the Sunday, also at 5 or 6 p.m. CEST. And that will be a developer chat about more details about the expansion. And then there's the press event where we sadly won't be at on Wednesday. A few fan sites have been invited to that, so I assume they can already prepare their articles and stuff like that. So we'll know in 5 days' time, more or less. Well, depending on how you look. Sunday is almost over, practically. Ready time in a few hours, and then the day is over for most.
Just say just 5 days, something like that. We'll see what happens, man. So I mean, it's gonna be. I hope it's gonna be good.
Same, and it looks like talk has just DC'd.
It does look like it. So I mean, that might be good timing.
Yeah, sure. Bit chaotic episode, obviously. It's all just speculation and different threads of lore that Blizzard can pursue. So, thank you very much for watching. If you liked this podcast, this video, leave a comment, subscribe, click on the like button to help us out. Let us know in the comments what you think is going to be the next expansion, or which leaks have the most validity. Stuff like the Rise of the Syndicate seems, well, let's face it, like a ton of bullshit. But then again, stranger things have happened.
They have, especially with World of Warcraft. You never know.
So, even though Talk isn't here, thanks to him for joining us. And LJ, thanks for being here again.
Glad to be here again.
And then we'll see each other either next week or the week after that. It's too bad the live stream is on Sunday for the developers.
Yeah.
The Skype is just screwed up, so there's a big LJ head on the screen now.
It's beautiful.
Yes, obviously. So we'll be back with another podcast soon. Again, thanks for watching. I'm Mezzy, and I'll see you again next time.